Hey, what's up guys? Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to another video of Virtual Summer Sessions. My name is Jackson, and today we're going to be going over the hats off maneuver. Hats off maneuver is something very cool that we learn during summer sessions. So with that being said, let's take it back out to the field and we'll show you how to do it. Tap, 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 up, hop, kick, down, 2, hats, 2, off, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, on, 2, down, 2, Ohio. Tap, 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 up, hop, kick, down, 2, hats, 2, off, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, on, 2, down, 2, 1, 2, 3, up, 1. So today we're going to be going over the hats off maneuver. The hats off maneuver is one of our final in-place movements that we learn. Now it's not lumped in with in-place movements that we learn at the beginning of the summer because those are all very fundamental stationary movements that are necessary to learn at the beginning to build a foundation for the rest of the fundamentals that you learn. The hats off maneuver is quite a bit longer and more complicated than the in-place movements that you learn at the beginning of the summer. It's executed with lots of snap and precision and with lots of energy and drive throughout the motion. And because it's an in-place movement and you're executing it with lots of snap and precision, it kind of gives you a chance to show off your snap and your drive and the staccato nature of the movement because you're not actively moving forward or backwards or marching anywhere. You're just standing still and executing the movement. And while you're vocalizing the commands that go with the movement, you can give some extra strength and power in your voice as well as doing the commands, and it just gives you a break, if you will, in between the two sets of drill, or at the very end of a drill when you perform the hats off. It gives you a chance to show how good you can do it and how much energy and passion you can put into it. Now with that being said, we don't want you to be screaming your head off or doing anything crazy. We just want you to be focused with lots of energy but also controlled. So we'll go ahead and start breaking it down. So you saw me do the two examples of it at the beginning of the video. So whether it's at the end of a drill or in the middle of a drill, it's always going to start the same. The only difference is going to be at the end. So to start off, you just have the first two counts are down 2. So what's happening on the down count is you're placing the sticks into the center of the drum head. So it might not be perfectly the center of the drum head. You can see mine is more towards the front of the drum. It's not all the way at the edge of the drum or down at the bottom edge of the drum, but it should be somewhere towards the center of the drum. It might not always be directly in the center of the drum, but on the down count, you're pressing the sticks, the bottom beads, you're pressing them into the drum head, and then that's where they're going to stay until the end. So that's what happens on the down count. And then on 2 of that first section, you're just resting. So you have down 2. Now the next section, you're going to release your right hand from the sticks for hats 2. So we have down 2, then the next section is hats 2. So the movement again is going to occur in the right hand on the hats count, or the hats vocalization. And on that, you're going to go up and grab your theoretical hat. Now at summer sessions and during tryouts, you're never going to have an actual hat on. At tryouts, you're not allowed to have hats on. But we want you to pretend that you're wearing one of our official Ohio State Marching Band hats that we wear during game days. So if you had one of those on, you'd have a plume up at the top, and you have the short bill that goes over your eyes. So we want you to grab with this hand technique as if you were grabbing that hat. So your index finger and your middle finger are grabbing on each side of the plume like that, if you had a plume up there, then your thumb is grabbing right underneath the bill of the hat. So on the hats count, you have down 2, hats 2. You're going to be grabbing the hat just like that, around the plume and under the bill. And then on count 2 of that second section, you have hats 2. You're just still resting on that second count. Your sticks are still pressed into the drum head. So from here, we can move on to the third section. You have, this is the first section where it increases to 4 counts. You have off 2, 3, 4. So again, the movement occurs on the very first count, and then you rest for the following 3 counts. So the movement is you're holding your hat, and then you take it off, and up and out to your right side. So the arm position here is we want your arm to be locked and straight as possible, and it's going to be a 45-degree angle on the horizontal plane and a 45-degree angle on the vertical plane. So it's basically just pointing um, to your front right corner out this way and then up 45 degrees. So we call that 45 and 45. That's actually the same stick position that you'll use for the end of Sloopy when we go on next week and learn that. But for that, what is that? That's the third section. You have off, 2, 3, 4. So now from here, we move on to the fourth section. This is the section that requires the most energy input into it. So for this, you have down, 2, 3, 4. Now in here, I'm not going to whip down with as much intensity and snap as I would out on the field, because if I do that real quick, my headphones are going to fall off. But the point being, you're up here for that fourth section. You're up here, and then for the fourth section, the movement again occurs on the first count of 4. On the down vocalization, you whip your body down, 2, 3, 4. So right here, when we go into this position, you want your upper body or your torso to be aiming for parallel with the ground, but some people are not going to be able to get their torso to be fully parallel with the ground, and if you really try to stretch over that, you might hurt your back. So if you're shooting for it but you're not all the way there, that's okay. Like, this would be acceptable. What we want to be parallel with the ground is your right arm that's holding your hat, your theoretical hat. We want that arm to be parallel with the ground. Now, some people are going to have a tendency to shoot up like that, and some people are going to have a tendency to hang down like this. So you just have to record yourself and go back and watch the video and see what your tendency is, and then adjust accordingly. But remember, the right arm should be parallel with the ground. Now, your left hand with the sticks is still pressing into the drum head and kind of controlling the drum and not allowing it to swing around down here when you're bending down. So that's the point of pressing the sticks into the drum head. It's to help control the drum when your right hand is back here doing everything with the hat. So you're down here after the fourth section. Then we go back into the fifth section, and you're just returning to that third section up like this. You're returning to that hats off position. So again, the fifth position is you starting down here. Again, the movement only occurs on the first count of 4. You have up, 2, 3, 4. So you just, with a lot of snap and precision, whip your body back up to the same position as position 3. Then from here we move on to position 6. This now goes back to a 2 count move. You have on, 2. So now this is the first position of the movement where you actually have movement on the second count. It's not just movement on the first count. So you're out here to start. You have on, 2. So on the on vocalization, you're returning your hat to your head, and then on the 2 vocalization, you're placing your hat down onto your head, or you're pulling it down on to make it secure on your head. So you have on, 2. And then from here, we're going to move on to the 7th section. You have down, 2. So all that happens there is your right hand moves back down to your sticks. You lift your sticks back up off the drum head. So you have down, 2. And then now we come to the 8th and final section. Now this is the one that can be different whether the hats off is at the end of a drill or in the middle of a drill. So if it's at the end of the drill, you've just done down, 2. Now if it's at the end of a drill, you're going to have O, high, O, or O, high, O. Now we're roughly jerking the sticks back, an inch forward, and an inch back. So O, high, O. Now, the only thing that's different if the hats off would happen to be in the middle of a drill is instead of saying O, high, O, you'd have 1, 2, 3. So the movement is still the same. You're going back, forward, back. The vocalization is what is different. You're just saying 1, 2, 3. And then if it were at the end of a drill and you say O, high, O, that's the end. There's nothing after that. If the hats off were happening in the middle of a drill, then you would have 1, 2, 3, up, 1. So if you were just going into another 8 to 5 forward, you'd have up with the chair step and go forward. So that would happen on count 4. The up of the chair step would be on count 4 after the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. If you had a 6 to 5 forward with a stride step, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Move forward with the stride step. If you had an up step turn, it'd be exactly the same as the previous example of a chair step forward, except you'd have up step turn 1. Go watch Josh's video on the up step turns. But that's the only difference if you have a if it's in the middle of a drill, is the vocalization is different, and then you go up into the chair step. If it's at the end of a drill, you have oh hi oh, and that's the end. That's about it for the hats off maneuver. It's something fun that we get to learn in summer sessions, and it's something that a lot of us cherish and like to do very well. So that being said, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.